What's going on YouTube? My name is FG3000. I'm back in the place to be and welcome back to Exos Heroes. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the Season 2 update director notes for all of the upcoming content that is slated to hit the game later this month. So all of this content that we're about to go over is coming right around the corner in the game, so there's quite a bit to be excited for. So let's go ahead and take it from the top. First things first, new episode. So we're going to see the new episode, The North Wind. A lot of this has already been teased. So a new story chapter right around the corner, and the way that they're going to be doing this is going to be broken up into 4 chapters, and that 4 chapter, kind of methodology is going to go through the future seasons, season 3, season 4, and season 5. So the way that we see season 2 rolled out is going to be the same way that we kind of see the next seasons rolled out in the future. So definitely looking forward to more story. The story in Exos Heroes is very underrated. If you're brand new, just coming to the game, definitely take your time, enjoy the story, because there's a lot of cool characters and a lot of interactions with all of them if you pay attention. So that is that. We have a brand new system here called the Scout System. Now, basically what this Scout System is designed to do is to help you get heroes that are difficult to get from previous recruitments. So I'm envisioning, right now, if you want to get Dragon Blood Rara, it's nearly impossible to get that character right now. So my envision of this system is that that's going to make characters like Dragon Blood Rare a little bit easier for players to get if they weren't around when that banner was live, basically. If you kind of take a look at the director's intention here, we are aware that most heroes acquired from current contents of premium recruitment and door creation are just being disassembled and sold. Hopefully this new scouting system will be updated so that all heroes can be utilized and improve this phenomenon. Now, one phenomenon that I think we all agree needs to be improved is the translation. I feel like, I feel like they did hire a new translator, and he was like, on his application, it's like, you know what? I speak English phenomenally. And he is living that every single patch. So there you go. Signature of Force is a new system that's also going to be added to the game as well. This is going to allow you to use fated heroes, so the highest rarity heroes, as materials to enhance heroes in a specific nation. So we saw it with Blue Fate Core Baraka. They're going to continue pushing forward to try to drive this narrative home that these nations actually have synergy or synastry together. All right, so a little bit of synastry when it comes to the nations in this game. So the director's intention here, come on Radeon Software. So the director's intention here is basically giving your signature heroes, Rachel, Bathory, Shufraken, Janai, Garf, etc., ability to stabilize the balance of heroes. The maximum growth of these heroes belong to a particular nation will be released periodically through future updates of the Signature Force. I don't understand the director's intention because, once again, the translations are a little bit off, but it looks as if using fated heroes as materials, you can kind of drive up the power of the nation in your account somehow, and that's going to make these premier units here more powerful in some way. Once again, a lot of this we're going to have to kind of wait and see what it looks like in the game. So that is that. There's also going to be chance up recruitment by nations. So I kind of envision they're going to be adding banners to the game, kind of like what we already see in the door creation, that allows you to kind of pinpoint a specific nation that you want to go for, and then you can use the scout system in order to get characters from that specific nation in some way. But once again, we got to see what this looks like in game. One thing that's very exciting is this Infinity Core system. So this is going to be brand new PvE content where you're going to be facing the core raid bosses from previous core raids. And basically these core raid bosses get stronger infinitely. And this is going to allow you to, number one, aim for the highest scores by destroying Guardian Stones and strategies for tons of weekly rewards. So when I see this, right, when I see aim for highest scores by destroying bosses' Guardian Stones, what I think of is kind of like a system out of 7 Deadly Sins, sort of, in their boss rush modes that they have, where you can get a higher score by doing certain things while you're fighting the boss. I kind of envision the same thing here in Exos Heroes, but a little bit lesser so, where you're fighting a core raid boss, and the more you break the core boss's Guardian Stones, you're going to get a point total, and the higher your point total is going to get you ranked up against other players on the server, and then at the end of the season, at the end of the week, you're going to get even more zest, I hope, another opportunity to get more zest as you kind of compare your score against other people on the server. That's what it looks like to me, and I do like the fact that the bosses get stronger and stronger and stronger, and The biggest part about this is that heroes used in this will be unavailable for the rest of the week. So this is really going to give you an opportunity to use more and more heroes. Obviously, you know, whales are going to have an easier time. That's kind of like in any hero collector, in any gacha, whales are always going to have an easier time. But this is going to kind of push you to be able to use other units that are outside of your primary squad, which I always love to see. So the director's intention when it comes to this gameplay mode, they consider PvP and embodiment the only real competitive content in the game. So they want to add another layer of competitive content to allow people to once again have an in-game goal. And I think this is actually a really good idea because once again, it gets stronger infinitely. It pushes you to use other characters, and there's also going to be a weekly like leaderboard and reward system. I think this is going to be pretty solid. Of course, we're going to have to see what this looks like once it's actually in the game. So this game is actually pretty decent when it comes to weekly rewards. So I'm all here for more weekly rewards and more systems to kind of push us to compete against each other. So very cool. Growth and balance systems. So core memory. So this is not the first time they've talked about core memory. They are trying to develop a system where your fate cores can be used throughout your friends list and throughout your squadron. It was just as archaic when they described it the first 2 times. It's just as archaic now. I don't really understand the system. Once again, it's gonna have to be something that we see once it's in game, but they're trying to make it so that your fate cores can be shared with other of your friends and your allies and your guild mates. This is actually one of the rare hero collectors out there that does not really have a system where you can share your strongest units with other people. So maybe it's along the lines of that. I would love to see this go a step further where people can actually share units like flat out. Like I would love to be able to help people, like let's say it's machine day and you're my friend or you're my guild and you don't have a Dragon Blood Baraka. I would love to be able to share my Dragon Blood Baraka with other people to allow them to have an easier time going through machine day, for example. So that's not what this is saying, but that's what FG is saying, what I would love to see in the future. So character awakening. So this is one that a lot of people are kind of given the side eye to. So this is the way I understand it, right? So once we hit season 2, you will have the option once you hit a certain requirement, right, to awaken your character. And once you awaken your character, the faded gear that they're wearing will be basically absorbed into the character. So check this out. The equipment are transferred to the hero by absorbing the equipped ones. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and jump into game real quick because I feel like visually this makes more sense to me. So let's go ahead and jump on over to King Shu, what it do? So this is what I'm envisioning. If I hit the requirements in order to awaken my King Shu, all of the armor that he is currently wearing is gonna absorb into his character, clearing out all of his gear slots. He's gonna effectively be naked again, but all of the gear is gonna be absorbed into him. And then from that point, I can then get a new set of armor called Season 2 armor. So I don't necessarily see this as a loss per se. So no matter what you've invested in this gear already, if you get to retain those stats in your character and then have a blank slate where you can equip even more gear, that just means you're gonna be able to progress even further and further. And also what that means is that you'll be able to go back to the older content like Path of Trials, for example, and clear through that content even easier now. And this is also for free-to-play players as well. This type of system, you know, a free-to-play player is not gonna have tons of faded gear like a paying player would, but they probably have maybe 1 or 2 characters that they have fully faded out by the time that patch hits. That will allow them to get even stronger and maybe allow them to clear out some of the older story content that they were struggling with, some of the special stages that they were struggling with, etc., etc. So pushing the ceiling of the combat power that's easily attainable in the game up, I don't see as a bad thing, especially when it comes to putting out new content. You always, every single time you add new content, new season, new story, new higher difficulties in a hero collector, you also have to think about what that does to the older content and what that does to progression from people that are starting from day 1. So I see this as a push. We're pushing everybody up. We're raising the boat, we're raising the ocean levels for everyone, which will make all of the past content a little bit easier going forward. But once again, the translations, they're rough. We're gonna have to see what this looks like. But there you go. Season armor is coming in season 2. All right, so the next thing up is going to be Reorganization Hero Nation. So the example that they give for this system, the Reorganization Hero Nation will change the list of buff targets for Fate Core Blue Baraka, for example. So this can only be a buff to Baraka because the targets that he buffs are not really outstanding at all. So whatever they do to Baraka is probably going to be a net positive. But I'm actually kind of glad to see this because blue Fate Core units where they buff their entire nation are very potent, but they also have kind of a downside depending on what nation the heroes are a part of. You might kind of get a bunk blue Fate Core like Baraka where he doesn't really buff anyone really outstanding. And if you compare that to like Yao, who we think is going to be a blue Fate Core coming tomorrow, the units that she buffs are just objectively better than who Baraka buffs. So a Regal organization is probably needed. So more to come on that. Can't wait to see that. Now, a dye shop, something completely out of left field. So players will be able to dye their characters as well. So they can display their personal taste and individuality. So I'm very curious to see how this is gonna work. Are we gonna be able to see like Fate Core Zeon? He's, currently he's completely gold. We'll be able to see like an all black Fate Core Zeon or something like that, or an all pink, I don't know. So very interesting, love to see that. Improved patch download, that's always good. Statues are actually already in the game. So if you walk around town, you can actually see people, you can actually see the statues that this is actually talking about. So it looks like that was maybe hot fixed in or whatever. So here we are in town. Once again, I love this town, by the way. Like, I know they're trying to make town a thing, but right now there's no reason to be in town. But I do kind of hope that town one day becomes a thing. But here is the statue that they're talking about here. So there goes Big Daddy Glenn right there in the middle of town. So there you go. If we go back over here, so yes, that's going to be at the end of August. Looking forward to seeing how this all shapes up. This is a massive update. Season 2 is going to be a pretty big dramatic shift on the game. I know a lot of people are kind of, very curious about that awakening system, the Season 2 gear. That's probably the only question mark. But so far, they haven't, when I think about the game systems in this game, I only kind of give this game 2 negative marks when it comes to game systems. The new and improved Labyrinth, I don't think is very good. I think trying to make artificial difficulty by just making things just flat out immune or taking away passives, I think that's kind of lazy. Like, they could have done a lot better job when it came to Labyrinth. I just don't, like, it's not fun seeing like, oh, I literally just can't do damage to this enemy. Fun. Like, that's not cool, right? So I think that was kind of a sore point, and I think Dragon Blood as a whole was kind of like a sore point for the game. But literally every other system that's currently in the game right now, I think has been either a win or kind of like, not bad. Elemental enhancement system I think is fantastic. I recently went back to chapter 10 because even I didn't actually 3-star all the chapters in chapter 10. I went back and did the last level on that one. It was so much easier because I had Rara breaking multiple Guardian Stones, which was a lot of fun with that too. So so far they've been pretty decent when it comes to the systems that they added to the game. So I'm willing to give them a benefit of the doubt, and that benefit of the doubt comes from previous systems, bad translations, and kind of my wait and see approach anyway. So there you go, season 2 right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Can't wait to see it. In earlier news, maybe tomorrow we should see the core raid for the summer event. In addition to maybe seeing blue Fate Core Yao, which I am probably gonna go full pity for because I'm a big fan of blue Fate Cores. I think they are very underrated. So I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to grabbing Yao tomorrow if she comes out. So that will do it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Once again, my name is FG3000. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Later.